Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're watching Coach Morning Live. That's your show. That's your Coach Morning. I welcome you to my world, which is your world, because we're just one entity divided in different subparts. Coach Morning Live was created for you. I'm sorry for being late because as a technician I had to fix a lot of issues before I could go live. But it's always a pleasure to be with you on Coach Morning Live. This is your place to share ideas, to think, to grow, and to take action. Coach Morning Live is called the home of the MVP code. Remember to share, to like, to subscribe, because we want to grow this community of champions, this community of MVPs, this communities of successful and positive people, this community of love, of fun. We need to have fun when we talk about success. We need to have fun when we talk about happiness, fulfillment, the great things that we can do in life. You're watching Coach Morning Live. So happy to be with you. The theme of the day is vision today. We're going to talk about a great man by the name of Walt Disney. You know him already. He's not with us, but Walt Disney World is with us. Welcome again to Coach Morning Live. This is your Coach Morning. This is Coach Morning. Welcome to Coach Morning Live. That's that's the situation. Why am I can't hear my music? But it's okay. We're going to take it this way because this show is not about having good music. It's about having fun while we talk about life. As usual, we have a thought of the day. Then, after the thought of the day, the quote of the day, I like to say, after the quote of the day, we move to the story of the day. Very passionate, very interesting. I invite all the millennials, all the Gen Zs, all the young professionals. I invite everybody to dig into the life of Walt Disney. Walt Disney is an inspiration for the world. Walt Disney is an inspiration for the world. I invite you to take the time to go over his life. He's a great inspiration for the world. The story is matching what we talk here about, what we always talk about the MVP code in this show. And we call the show the home of the MVP code. And when we say MVP code, when we say MVP code, we mean a set of 5 steps to life with success, which is mission, vision, passion, plan, and action. I have something to share with you quickly. Let's see. We will get it. It's got it. Yes. The MVP code is about mission. Your mission, that's when you define your purpose. Your vision is that's define the ideal destination of your mission. Fuels the journey. The plan maps the route. You know where you're going. You have a set of steps with without define after you clearly define your objectives. And then you take action to make your vision become a reality. That's the MVP code. 5 simple steps, but that can make your life a success, help you live a happy life, and also have you help you have a fulfilled life. That's Coach Morning Life. Let's remove this here. I'm sorry, we don't want this here. Let's remove, okay? So we're back. Uh, as always, it's a pleasure. The Today we're going to talk about the quote of the day. We're going to move to the quote of the day, and the quote of the day is a very interesting one. Everybody, it matches the whole show today. The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. That's the quote of the day. The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious, by John Scully. I don't want to teach or to talk too much about other other people besides Walt Disney today, but I'll take the time to tell you that John Scully worked for PepsiCo for since 1960, from 1967 to 1983, and he became the youngest CEO at some point. And in 1983, he was invited to work for Apple by Steve Jobs. He worked there as a CEO for 10 years, 10 long years. So this guy is, if we talk about people who have made an impact with PepsiCo, he helped PepsiCo become the most valuable, the strongest competitor to Coca-Cola. And he moved to Apple. You know, I don't need to talk to you about Apple. You know, this is a very successful company. If you know some shares, you can be a millionaire now, because Apple is a very successful company. They make people crazy by their marketing strategies, and that's John Scully. He left us with a great quote: "The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they became obvious." And what a wonderful thing to be able to see possibilities before they became obvious. And it's all about vision. The theme of the day, when you define that vision, it defines something that you have not seen. It's transformation. Your vision is a step, is the next step after you define your mission in life. After you define that mission, you're going to define a vision, how you want to see it. Companies have to go through the same process. They define a mission, then they define the vision for the company. The vision is what I call an ideal destination for your mission. Let's imagine that you want to make an impact on education. So you make that education become your mission. You want to make an impact. And then you're going to define the vision, for example, as becoming, helping people, or see a world where everybody has access to quality education, no matter their level of income and assets. That's could be a vision where everybody has access to education. Same for healthcare. If you want to make an impact in healthcare, in America, for example, where I'm living now, where a lot of you are living, you could define your vision as related to your mission in education. You want to see a world where everybody has access to quality healthcare, no matter their level of income and assets. The vision defines an ideal situation, an ideal result of your mission. That's the vision. Vision is about aspiration, it's about destination, it's about seeing a world that nobody sees, but something that you see, and you going to work towards that vision. It's like a direction, but it's an ideal situation. This is not something that's easy. When you define your vision, it's something that goes beyond your circumstances. Again, by John Scully, The future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. Let's thank you, John Scully. You've done an excellent job. Again, sorry if you have no music. The software is not doing the job, but I want to make sure that you have fun. Let's smile. Let's be happy. Happiness is not just when you hear the music or you listen to music. Happiness could also the music of your heart, the music of your soul, the music of your body, the music of your thoughts. And when we are at peace with ourselves, that when the body become a music itself, the mind is at peace. And that's what we're working for. We're working for, at Coach Morning Live, for a life of health, of success, of fulfillment. And with that come a happy balance or a balanced happiness. Now we're going to move to the story of the day. I am very animated today to talk about the story of the day. The story of the day, I call it the Walt Disney story. I think we have most of the time we spend about 10 minutes talking about the story of the day, and there is a lot to say. We just want to make sure that what stay with you is the fact that Walt Disney had a vision. He was able to see possibilities where not the rest of the world could see. And that's about Walt Disney. So that's the story. That's the story of the day. I am happy to talk about an extraordinary man. This man is Walt Disney, as I said, Walt Disney. And I will never forget what I've learned today and during the week while learning, while digging into the life story of Walt Disney. My dream is that many young people, many millennials, many Gen Z can inspire, can get a lot of inspiration from the life of Walt Disney. That's a man that I will never forget. He normally he can be presented as someone who like to make an impact. He wanted to go to the army, but he was too young to go. So he decided to go into the Red Cross. By the way, he was born in 1901, December 1st, 1901. And he wanted to go to the army, he was too young. He decided to go to Red Cross, and he was able to drive ambulances in France, as an example. So you can tell this is someone who's driven by making a difference in the world. His first, and I think that when you have a vision, you need resilience. And the story of his life illustrates his resilience is the Mickey Mouse story. A lot of people may not know that if the first success of Walt Disney as a producer was Oswald the Rabbit. Is a cartoon character that was created and by Walt Disney, but at some point when he was thinking that he could make money, be successful with the character, when he went to New York to talk with the executives of Universal Pictures, the company, They let him know that he did not own the rights to Oswald the rabbit. And that's a great disappointment that you create something and now someone tells you that you don't have the right to that. You don't own it. They own it. The company owns it. That was a success. Oswald the rabbit, a cartoon character. While coming back, leaving the company to go to his place, to maybe to the hotel, he thought of a mouse that he used to see in the studio. And he's thinking about creating a new character. That's a great sign of his resilience. He decided to create a character with the mouse of his studio, of one of the mouses if he had more, but at least he know there was a mouse in the studio, in his studio. And that's how he he came with he came up with the idea, and he was thinking about calling the character Mortimer the mouse. And when he talked to his wife advised him to call the cartoon character Mickey Mouse. That's how they came up with the name Mickey Mouse, the character. And today, billions of people know about I call it this guy. So everybody knows about Mickey Mouse. But if let he had to let go, he was discouraged by losing the opportunity of Oswald the Rabbit, the first character that he created. He would be that would make him just become a failure in life. But that did not stop him. He he created. That's why we have creativity. When one project doesn't work, we just create another one. That's a great example that we have by learning from Walt Disney's life story. That's one thing. So I talked about the resilience, but maybe that vision was burning inside. He, besides that story of the Mickey Mouse, I call it the resilience, building into the bigger vision. Another great fact of his life is the creation of the Snow White and the seven dwarfs. That when he had the idea, a lot of people did not really take him seriously. They even call the story the Snow Folly to mock him because they did not think that people would decide to go to a movie to just watch cartoon like a full length movie. So this guy has revolutionized the cinema industry by creating Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That's the that could be considered as the first full-length uh, cartoon uh, movie. People did not believe he made it happen, and that became a great success. That's about vision. You see something, you see possibilities where other people don't see, where it doesn't seem obvious, but that's your vision. You see something that other people don't see. And that's what happened with Walt Disney. But today I did not come to talk about Walt Disney's vision for the movie, but it happened to be an extraordinary accomplishment of a visionary man. He was entrepreneur, producer, animator, and a great businessman. And he had that vision where he could have create a a company where he could, that was the vision, right? Where he could, where parents and children could have fun together. That was the vision, and that's the vision I wanted to talk about today. He had that vision, and when he had it, the banks were did not believe. The investors discouraged him. The people around him, they did not believe that was going to happen. He was able to create Disneyland in Anaheim, California, and that became a success. This such an interesting story. He created Disneyland, but that wasn't the only stop. He wanted more. The vision was bigger, and he envisioned a bigger project that he would initiate in Florida. He bought a lot of land. All of you know the size of Walt Disney World, and he bought a lot of land in Florida, and that's how the project started. What a wonderful story! What a wonderful story! This Walt Disney is an inspiration for young people. This is an inspiration. The You will take it today as the way it is. Too much technical issues. This is my luck today, and I'm happy that I can be with you. I hope you enjoy the show. What we're talking about is having fun when the music is not there, when the setup is not there, but you still can have fun. We're going to use the music of our heart. The the music of our heart. That's what we're gonna use. The that's the vision in the very a very interesting part of the story of Walt Disney's life is that he died in 1966, right? At the age of 65. He did not have a chance to see the Walt Disney World. The A very important fact, his brother, Roy Disney, is the one who was able to accomplish the project, see the full completion, and they opened Walt Disney World in 1971, basically 5 years after the death of Walt Disney. Roy wanted to name Walt Disney World, keep the name of his brother to make sure that we all know that was his vision. So we all know this is the world of Walt Disney. He deserves to stay alive even if he's not with us. And the vision, that's what happened. What I say sometimes, the brother was part of the vision. The vision was not just for him, he was the one who saw it, but the vision was for the both of them. Some people think about Roy the brother as the one who facilitated the dream, and Walt Disney as the one who had the dream. That's the situation. That's the case. He had the dream, but Roy had the ability to finance the dream. And not only finance the dream, but kept the dream alive. In that project, the Walt Disney World was open in October 1971. An interesting story. Roy the brother died in December 1971. That's why I say that Roy was part of that vision, because without him, we would not have seen the completion or the right way. Maybe somebody else could have finished the project, but maybe not with the same vision, the same touch. He was the brother, so he knew exactly what his brother wanted, and they could create the resort, Walt Disney World, the destination resort for parents and children to have fun together as he envisioned it. This is Walt Disney's life, Walt Disney's story. A lot about vision. If we think about 10 people in the world, in the business world especially, who the 10 most impactful visionaries, Walt Disney, a lot of people would agree with me that he's one of them. The, because we can't have the music the way I want it, the way I need it, or I don't. It's hard to see what's going on. So we're going to move to the Coach Morning Thanks. Hey, let's stand up and have some fun. Let's be happy no matter what. Let's enjoy your life. It's This is how we enjoy the. So this is Coach Morning Live. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Because of the technical issues, I I missed the opportunity to tell you to like, share, and subscribe. But that's all we need. That we need to be able to share the good news with the people. Sorry, the technical issues are messing up the show, but we're not going to. We're going to keep it simple and straight to the point. It's about Coach Morning, the time for Coach Morning's take now. And Coach Morning takes is could be very simple. When you have a mission, that's how you want to that's what the mission is, the purpose of your life. And with the mission, you have to take that next step, which is the step for you to define the vision. That's where you want to go, because there are so many ways you can see your mission. So everyone with a mission, with a purpose, must define the vision. That's the ideal destination of your mission. Now, when you have the vision, you have to realize that Walt Disney was not able to finish the Walt Disney World, which is an extraordinary project as compared to Disneyland in California, the one he was able to see. When you have a vision, you have to start thinking about the other people that are going to make an impact in your life, in the accomplishment of that vision, that world of possibilities that you see that nobody else sees. Just because they don't see it, that doesn't mean they cannot help you. When you have a vision, you need to be able to communicate that vision to the people around you. You need partners. You can never create a great company without partners, without contributors. Even the people who are working for you, you need them. The vision that you have needs support from other people. They become like your assistant, just like Roy had become the continuity of Walt Disney's vision. By postponing his retirement and putting his work to the project, he was able to complete the Walt Disney World Destination Resort. And that's how we can understand the value of a vision and the value of the communication, the value of the support that we can get from other people. There are many lessons that you can learn from Walt Disney. The lesson of resilience. If one project fails, let's move to the second one. The value of working with other people to make things happen. That's another lesson. And with vision, we learn also that with vision, you're able to make the world keep you alive. You stay alive after you die with a big vision. And that's what happened when Roy finished the project of Walt Disney World. And today, Walt Disney is still alive. We don't see him, but we see him through the project. My question to you is, what are you doing to make sure that the possibilities that you see are accomplished? The possibilities that you see that nobody see, that doesn't seem to be obvious, what you are doing to make them happen. Have you identified people in your circle that can help? Do you think about all the possibilities that you have to make things happen? Coach Morning Live is about action. Coach Morning Live is about making an impact, making a difference in the world. And today was about creating, defining a vision for your life purpose. Remember that you need a purpose to live a fulfilled life, a happy life, and a successful life. Remember that you will need people to work with you. I like to talk, but I have to go. As we come to the end of this episode, I would like to remind you that John Scully teaches us that the future belongs to those who see possibilities before they become obvious. This is from him. And then we had the opportunity to see the impact of Walt Disney with his extraordinary vision. We have to remember that we need people when we have a vision. Our life mission is not going to be accomplished just by ourselves unless we have a very tiny vision, I would say. Vision is not objective. That's something totally different. When you need to do something, you need to think about the other people that are going to help. This is Coach Morning on Coach Morning Live. Remember, today is your day. Make it count. As always, Coach Morning Live is the home of the MVP code, the code that teaches us to have a happy, successful, and fulfilled life. I'll see you next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. for another great show on Coach Morning Live. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I love you all. Ciao. Happy, happy, happy. Good morning, everybody. I love you.